Boom. Welcome to episode 3
The Factory.
of
I'm
The
Jourdan.
Factory. I'm Malcolm, and it's been an interesting couple weeks.
To
Very
say the least.
I mean, the closer we get to the actual election, the crazier it's getting.
Yeah.
Today is Saturday. We're Saturday morning. And so
Remember when we used to watch cartoons
I wish.
and eat
Life
cereal?
is becoming like a crazy cartoon.
I would have cereal this morning, but I think my milk is old. I need to throw it out.
So the president was diagnosed with coronavirus a few days ago. Well, a week ago now, and went through it. Well, he's probably still has it, because let's be honest, it's not been the full 2 weeks.
And we've had we've had both of the debates since our last episode.
Both debates. The whole
the look on your face.
I'm like trying to.
This kind of says it all.
Trying to remember everything that's just happened this 2 weeks.
And yet you simultaneously look absolutely horrified just thinking back about it. I don't think you even noticed, but the look on your face was just like, oh, fuck me.
Well, I think the big thing today is supposedly Trump is having his first public appearance.
And they're not.
Event.
Are they doing the rules? I heard they're not.
The second debate was canceled.
No, I know that. I know chicken shit ran away from the second debate like a little puss. I'm sorry for using such strong language, but for somebody who claims he's so strong, that was a really weak fucking move.
So, yeah, that was canceled. This event, I have no idea what protocols are going to be in place. It's happening at the White House, whatever it is.
The third debate?
No, whatever event is supposed to happen today.
Oh, Joe Biden's going to do a town hall. I'm sure Trump is just going to do a rally where he talks at people. I wonder which one of those is going to be more interesting.
Well, which again, this is happening at the White House, which first of all, already, no campaign event should be happening at the White House.
Ever. That's like a unspoken rule.
Yeah. Well, isn't it part of the Hatch Act? I believe so. So I think
you want to double check that? Because I am not very super versed on the Hatch Act.
So I believe it's actually illegal, but it's not being enforced.
Yeah, well, par for the course in this administration.
Okay, actually, no. I'm incorrect because it exempts the president and the vice president. Anyone else in the executive branch cannot basically conduct any sort of political activity at all while they're part of the executive branch.
I mean, I am inclined to give a little bit of leeway because he has coronavirus, but I have a feeling he's not going to be very safe about it. And if anyone recalls where coronavirus spread amongst all these people, it was at the White House
in the Rose Garden
during one of these events.
It was the Amy Coney Barrett announcement that was going to be his nomination.
Yep.
And a bunch of politicians got coronavirus from this, and a bunch of members.
I remember during the debate, it was Mike Pence or something, or Donald Trump, who said everybody's been fine, nobody's been really killed from coronavirus, nobody, around us. But what about Herman Cain?
Well, he's dead, so he was just forgotten about.
Yeah, Herman Cain got killed because of one of your rallies. I mean, they've tracked a lot of coronavirus directly to your rallies. I'm really tired of him just like straight lying, and even more tired of his people like they're. I wonder, do you actually believe this, or do you like intellectually at this point know that he's lying and just want to own the libtards? I feel we're at that they just want to own the libtards.
Here's the thing. So polling this week was real bad for Trump. And I mean,
yeah, but Hillary was at the same spot too.
This is even like worse.
It's similar, but the difference between now and then too is, you know, hopefully James Comey's not going to come out in like 2 weeks. And be like, yeah, Joe Biden deleted all these emails, because apparently if you delete an email, Republicans are going to get it.
And I also want to be clear, polls look really bad, but there's still the margins still allow for a Trump victory, however much unlikely it is.
Actually, right now, the margins don't allow for a Trump victory as far as I've seen. Because if you look at the polling disparity in swing states, in key swing states like Pennsylvania and Florida, those two alone would win the election for Joe Biden if we're assuming the rest of them go blue, the regular ones.
I believe Pennsylvania alone. He could lose Florida, and he could lose I think Iowa even.
Yeah. Margin of error is usually like 3-4%, but he's in like 6, 7, 8% and up range for most of these battleground states. So I would say, no, he is not within the margin of error right now. Hillary was not really within the margin of error right now either. But then the Comey email thing happened, and the polls changed.
I mean, you never know. This year's been crazy, but
we do know that they just tried. I mean, Trump just tried to get Barr to start arresting like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
I mean, these just look like desperate attempts.
They are absolutely desperate attempts. He's floundering. The man is mentally unstable. And look, forget about before coronavirus. He has coronavirus. He's been on a lot of drugs, and his behavior has been erratic. Even his kids are trying to do something to stop his erratic. Well, no, not all his kids. Don Jr. wanted to do something to stop his erratic behavior. From sources inside, the family and those groups, they say Don Jr. wanted to organize an intervention with Eric, Melania, and Jared, and they didn't want to go along with it.
I mean, there's so many rumors and stuff that come out of the White House that could, it sounds very likely.
Well, this was within the last 2 weeks when he's gone off on this kind of crazy, like, even for him, just absolutely insane. And it's dangerous, it's now dangerous. I mean, look at what happened in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's pretty terrible what happened in Michigan, and I'm not like, we shouldn't beat around the bush about what these guys were trying to do. They were trying to kidnap a United States governor.
It's treason.
Absolutely.
It's absolute treason.
It's treason, and it's terrorism.
And it is. I really hope these guys get, are used to make an example of this, because this isn't behavior that can be tolerated. This is not what militias are for. Militias are to stop people like Donald Trump, people who display tyrannical behavior, who act as though the rules don't apply to them. That's what the Second Amendment is for. And, it's beyond me, these people who claim to be, we're manly men, we're men, you weak liberals. And yet your behavior is that of weak, insecure bullies who have to make other people feel shitty because their egos are so far in the trash that everything they have to do has to pump that up.
Yep.
And it's funny because like the entire psychologically, I feel this entire movement is based on this whole, oh, we're strong. If you're weak, you can't be weak. But guys, sorry, you come off as the weak ones to the rest of the world, but with that behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible all around. And I mean, evidently, whatever plan they had was so weak, it was immediately thwarted. And all these guys.
It was. They're idiots. These people are not smart people. Let's cut the shit here. These right-wing militia people are not the smartest tools in the fucking shed. These are dudes who are so hopped up on hardcore nationalism that they can't see who's actually screwing them over, right? And then their response is to try to kidnap or kill a governor to start a civil war. And the problems they have are under their current president. I mean, these aren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
Well, now they won't be voting.
No, they won't. And they're treasonous. Yep. Hopefully they'll never be getting out of jail.
We'll see what happens, but I completely agree. I mean, it just shouldn't be happening.
No, it's disgusting.
So a topic
the general abuse towards Governor Whitmer has been absolutely abhorrent. It's subhuman behavior from these people.
I mean, even from the start with these initial protests of people marching into the State House with weapons and no masks and yelling in the face of, like, the fact that that is tolerated and has been tolerated, and then it's just, yeah, there's a double standard on what constitutes as protest and what is like a proper behavior for being in a protest. Like, do you think if Black Lives Matter folks came in strapped with rifles across their chest with no masks on and stormed a State House, that would have ended very, very differently?
They would be clutching their pearls. Oh my God, Antifa.
Well, not only that, there would be deaths and there would have been violence.
Yep. And they don't do that. You don't see that. The only people bringing big guns to these things are people like Kyle Rittenhouse, who, thank God, is not in like the public eye anymore. That little turd.
I mean, the fact that people were defending that kid in the first place, literally a murderer,
it's gross. They're like self-defense, and I'm like, yeah, self-defense against the people trying to stop the terrorist who just shot somebody. Are you on top of that right now?
Yeah, I mean, he chose to go into the situation. Where are his parents, first of all? This kid's 17.
They're probably right-wing nuts, just like him.
Yeah, but it's like,
didn't he get the gun from his mom?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but one topic that we've mentioned last 2 episodes, and I think it's very topical now, considering some of the rants that Trump went on Fox News and with Rush Limbaugh the past few days, is Iran. So our kind of question to each other was, did the coronavirus stop a war with Iran from occurring, at least so far? Because we were very, very close in like January. And I think I pulled up the exact quote. Trump went on a huge rant on Rush Limbaugh, talking about a variety of topics. Iran came up during this rant. Mm-hmm. And his quote was basically saying, if you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things that have never been done before.
What does that mean?
And then he said he's gonna, quote unquote, put them on notice. Whatever it means. but he obviously has a fixation. If of any country of starting a war with, it would be Iran. He
Well,
pulled
yeah,
out of the Iran nuclear deal.
Obama made the nuclear deal, and it seems like every action that Trump does, the goal is not to help the American people. The goal is to undo what Obama did.
Because he's owning Obama. That's what he's trying to do.
Right. Yeah. He's owning the scary black man who was president.
Yeah. So this is coming back up. Obviously, we're so close to an election. And if he loses, obviously Biden's going to have a very different position on Iran. Mm-hmm. But we were super close to having a war with them at the beginning of this year. And I really do think that if the coronavirus pandemic didn't happen and he didn't have to be so distracted by it happening, we probably would have gone to war with them, or at least carried out some sort of military strikes on their country.
The greatest war you've ever seen. You've never seen a war like this war that we were going to have with Iran. You think they had nuclear weapons? We're going to get there. You're never going to see another nuclear weapon from Iran. I promise you.
Very realistic speech, alternate universe speech.
Oh, who knows? The way his mind is right now, we could be a real one. You could end up just coming out tomorrow like, yeah, we're going to go to war with Iran.
I mean, the one thing that I'm thankful for is we haven't gotten into any new wars so far. But arguably this year has been...
And yet our spending on the military has gone up. How does that happen?
It'll never stop happening. I mean, the military just sucks in money. And and both the Democrats and the Republicans just flood the military with money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We have all this stuff that's just sitting around doing nothing. We never needed to build it. We never needed it. We never needed to spend money on it. It's dumb. There's all these things.
Well, the other problem with it now, too, is the fact because they have allocated all of these funds to the military and built all of this crap that we don't need, mm-hmm. It's like a circle of money, because now that stuff that's just rotting away that was never used now has to be maintained because it's just been sitting there never used. So we got to dump more money into that stuff, in like aging battleships that were never used, or like planes that were like not properly used, or you know, these experimental things that were never used. And maybe
I do love me some experimental aircraft, though. I'm not gonna lie, I love experimental aircraft.
Hey, there's some cool stuff that has been created by the military, and when you have that much money, obviously there's going to be crazy leaps in technology regarding that.
I mean, I think it's hard to decide what's worth spending money on. I always say technology is worth spending money on, like research. Now, I don't know about weaponry, right? I think some of the things that we've researched through weaponry have turned out to be good for science. But, you know, I'm tired of the first hypersonic plane being, you know, a fighter or a bomber.
Yeah, I mean, it's anything that can be turned into a weapon is going to be turned into a weapon. And you may be researching something that's absolutely unrelated, you think, to creating some sort of weapon. But if they can like say, oh, suddenly this like whatever it is that you created can be used to harm somebody else, let's dump military funding onto this thing.
Acid Cheeto dust.
It's the next napalm, folks.
There you go. Oh no, you know what? I'm not gonna go there. Let's move on. I had a thought that was like right. Did you see? I started. It was literally coming off the tip of my tongue. And I was like, nope. You're staying in there.
Because as few viewers as we have, there could be someone that's like, that's a great idea, Jourdan. Someone from the Pentagon's just monitoring this.
Right.
Feed us more ideas.
Intellectual property, Mr. Pentagon. I better get a paycheck.
One thing that is not really, well, I mean, I guess it's a little bit political, but I just want to talk about it, is the NBA bubble, because we're almost done with the finals.
Oh man, I've been all wrapped up in NFL. I haven't had the bandwidth for NBA, but I know that
I do want to talk.
I'm very excited, right?
I want to talk about the NFL too in relation to this.
Okay.
So
I think we also need Malcolm. I think we also need a sports show, buddy.
I would love to have a sports show. We should have a sports show. But I don't mind spending a little bit of time on this because last week Cam Newton got COVID, and the game was delayed. But how many outbreaks has the NFL had now? A number of them.
A lot. It's like the entire Patriots team has coronavirus. The Titans, 18 of their players got coronavirus.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they still have the season at this point. I'm glad, don't get me wrong, because I love me some football, but I'm surprised.
And the reason I bring that up is because the NBA bubble is almost done. They're on Sunday. It's going to be Game 6.
Wow, they brought y'all to a Game 6, huh?
Yeah. Hey, the Heat they're a great team. The Lakers have also been playing real bad the last couple games.
I'm not exactly happy with this final at all because I'm not a fan of either team.
So it is the least watched, least viewership for finals, I think, ever. But granted, you have football going on at the same time. You have baseball, which is also in playoffs right now. The National League Championship Series and the American League Championship Series are about to start.
And you have an entire portion of the country that are pissed off that they're standing up for black people.
You have that. You have presidential debates and elections going on. So there's a lot of competition.
That's so dumb. How do you think, what possible way do you think you're going to come off looking good by boycotting the NFL and the NBA for kneeling because of dead black people? It doesn't come off really well.
It's a wrong side of history.
You guys know it makes you look racist. I'm not saying you are, but it makes you look that way.
It definitely does. But what I want to talk about is coronavirus and specifically with the NBA bubble. First of all, the NBA bubble was incredibly successful. No outbreaks for players. Everyone was healthy. There were strict guidelines. It all took place in one area. So the fact that other leagues, the NFL in particular, but the MLB also had a lot of coronavirus outbreaks.
I get the feeling that there are certain teams in the NFL that did not take this seriously.
There are many. Coaches aren't taking it seriously. They're getting fines on them for not wearing masks.
Yeah, Sean McVay did. But I was surprised because the Rams, if you watched Hard Knocks, which I did, the Rams took it really seriously during the offseason.
Yeah.
They were very careful, and we've only had one case the entire offseason.
But the fact that those leagues aren't looking to the NBA for tips, how did you guys do it? And
it's different sports too, right? In football, it's going to be a lot more susceptible.
I would guess so. The teams are larger.
They're larger, much closer quarters when you're playing and practicing. But baseball is the one that really surprised me. Because for all intents and purposes, not a single baseball player should be getting COVID the way they play that game.
If there's any game where you can socially distance, it's baseball.
Pretty much. So So somebody's got to step in because, I'm not surprised it would be baseball too. It's one of those old sports that conservative people like to watch. So it doesn't surprise me that there would be teams that don't pay attention. And I think, what was it, like Miami?
It was a few teams. Miami was one of the big ones. I can't recall every team that caught it, but there were a few outbreaks through the season. By now, I mean, they've got kind of under control, but at the same time, most of the teams have been eliminated now because they're in playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I mean, I'm proud of my New York Mets for not getting any coronavirus. Not really proud of my New York Mets for anything else. But, but yeah, New York. Well, now everybody's surging again, of course, as I knew. Didn't I say that? Did I not say that would happen again?
Well, I mean, now we have the COVID flu double whammy coming. We're in
yeah, but the flu's not even here yet, and the COVID's already whammying again. Here we go.
It's going to be pretty bad. Go.
And I see people all day walking around not wearing masks. I give them a wide berth because I'm passive aggressive as petty as fuck. I walk around, give them the put a fucking mask on look, and I keep walking, right? Dude, and they look emboldened. That's the worst part. They like walk around like, I'm not wearing a mask, and I know I'm not wearing a mask. Fuck you. And it's like, dude, like you just like you don't realize all of you folks who are doing the anti-mask stuff, the rest of us are now looking at you, our friends, and in some cases our family, as people that we cannot trust anymore. That is what you are doing to the rest of us. And you don't see that. Your friends, your family members, they don't trust you anymore. And it's because you believe in crazy nonsense, okay? This anti-mask stuff, it is absolute crazy nonsense. The scientific justifications you come up with it are so easily debunkable. Masks don't block the virus. You're right. But they do block particles that the virus transmits on. It's not 100% effective. Great. So condoms aren't 100% effective. I guess we should stop wearing those too. I mean, it's like these points of view are so lowbrow. They're so basic. And I think that's why it's so hard for us to trust those folks. It's because if you can believe something so obviously false, how can I trust you to make smart, considerate decisions when it comes to me or your family or your friends? How can we trust you to do that?
I think part of, and this goes not just from coronavirus, but to all sorts of different beliefs, is that
conspiracy theories. Absolutely. I was looping conspiracy theories into that as well in general.
Conspiracy theories, all this stuff. And part of it
because I think the masker stuff is kind of a conspiracy theory in a way.
There's definitely conspiracy theories as part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have a very like black and white view of most issues. So it's either this is what it is or this is what it is.
Once again, very primitive ways of thinking.
But this is what's gotten these people through life, so thinking one way or the other. And it's part of the reason why Trump is so
that
successful.
And food stamps. Sorry, that was a low blow.
Well, it's part of the reason why Trump is also so successful, because that's how he operates. That's his whole rhetoric, is something is either really, really good or really, really bad. And it's very easy to understand.
It's absolutely wonderful. Oh, no. Now it's terrible.
Exactly. It's not, there's no like gray area in a lot of things. Yeah. But that's the type of knowledge that is valued for these types of people.
It's true. It's like, it's because it's easier for them to process. It's easier for them to digest. But the problem, folks, is reality is not easy to digest. The way things are, it's not supposed to be easily digestible. Things are complex. Things are complicated. And it often, to the rest of us, feels like these folks are just sticking their fingers in their ears and going, la, 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 la. I don't want to listen. I don't want to, I don't want to consider any other point of view. I don't want to try to look at this from any sort of perspective. And I think part of that goes to and I'm reaching here, mind you, definitely reaching. But I think a lot of that psychology is derived from the religious psychology. The idea that, you have these rules and they must be followed all the time, no matter what. And that sort of thinking permeates into other areas, right? And that's why you see people being totally unreasonable. Because if they're not totally unreasonable, then they're not supporting the Jesus God King Orangeman.
That could definitely be part of it, because a lot of religions do have, this is right and this is wrong. And
if you don't do it this way, you're going to burn forever.
And it's not just.
That's how Trump does the same thing, dude. He subliminally threatens you. He does it all the time.
And like I said, it's easy for people to understand. And I think the reason why people like that type of thing is because if a scientist says something like, you have 80% chance of catching the virus if you don't wear a mask. And if you do wear a mask, then, there's whatever X amount of percentage. But then they come up with these things that like, well, this person wore a mask and they got the virus. So how did that happen? And it's like,
because it's a percentage. Percentage.
Exactly.
Let's look it up. Should we pull up percentage in the dictionary and read it out?
It's a I don't think we'll do it for this one, but it's a misunderstanding of how statistics work and likelihoods work. And and a lot of people just don't get it, and they don't
get me started on the lack of education on statistics, on mathematics, on science, on all of these things. Every fucking keyboard warrior thinks they're a goddamn scientist. Every single one, and none of them are, except for a couple.
And I don't think statistics just as a subject, at least I don't remember it ever being like one of the math courses I took. It was always algebra, geometry.
Oh, I took stats.
Trig. I took stats in college.
I took it in high school for sure. I had to. I took it in what? 10th? 11th? Yeah, 10th grade, right? No. Oh no, maybe not on its own. No, I took it as part of pre-calc, I believe.
See, I don't think, I might be wrong, and there might be other parts of the country that I'm in, but I don't think there's a year that's dedicated to statistics.
No, but I don't think you necessarily need a year dedicated to statistics. The concepts are generally basic enough, right? You just need to learn how to calculate statistics, unless you're becoming a statistician. Is that the word?
Statistician.
I don't know. Then you need to go in hard, but basic statistics, the type that you would use for like calculus, you don't need anything that insane.
Well, it's also when I did take stats, or when I had like portions of a year dedicated to stats, whenever it's taught in these terms that are trivial. So it'll be something like, what's the chance of drawing, a king of hearts and a jack of spades or whatever, in a 52 card a deck or whatever, or like, what's the chance of rolling like
1 out of 28
in a row?
It was 1 out of 28 was the first one. 3 sixes in a row. That would be 1 out of 18.
Right, but these are the terms that it's almost like gambling terms you're always thinking of when you come to statistics.
Well, you put it that way, they're going to understand it.
Exactly, and that's how it's framed a lot of the times. But it's not framed in a way like, if this person, it's not framed in real world scenarios of how we can use statistics to make better choices in life.
Right.
So, like, they're not saying like, if this person is wearing a mask and this person is wearing a mask, and each one has an 85% chance of stopping the virus. It's not something like that. It'll be something like cards or dice, or how do you win a game? A lot of it's like game theory and like, I don't know.
I just, it's beyond me how people can just ignore such obvious evidence. They just ignore it, right? Like you talk to some of them, and it's like they pretend they've never heard it. And then this is how it always goes with anti-maskers. They pretend they've never heard the info. You trot out the info, and they either run away or concede the point.
Well, and it goes back. It's because it's not black and white. It's like either the masks help or they don't help. So why should I?
No. I think that's the wrong one. I think it's
either
the masks, they help 100% or they don't help at all.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And if they don't help 100%, then why should you wear it?
Which is completely fucking stupid. Which is where the condom thing that I mentioned came from, right? Condoms work, 99.99% of the time? Oh, well, I guess we shouldn't wear condoms.
I mean, I'm sure there are people like that are saying it's not 100% effective, so why should I wear it?
And those people are also likely people who don't wear a mask. They don't wrap it before they tap it. You know?
Oh, man. Well, we kind of digressed from
we got about 10 more minutes.
We got about 10 more minutes. I wanted to finish my thought about the NBA bubble because not only were they successful,
and we never actually answered the Iran question. We just got sidetracked, by the way.
All right, let's answer the Iran question first.
I wanted to hear your answer because my answer is I don't know, but probably.
That's the same. I mean, yeah, we can't say with 100% certainty.
Because we thought we were going to get into some shit with North Korea at that one point too, and we didn't get into that shit with North Korea. We thought we were going to get into something with Iran earlier or with Syria, and we didn't end up getting into those things. So, to his credit, he's pulled himself out of situations where it looked like it was going to get in a war. I will credit him that. He has done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole, well, I want to mention something too about the debate with Mike Pence and Kamala Harris the other day. Because Mike Pence
don't forget our favorite character of the debate.
The Fly.
Yes, sir. Life finds a way.
Yeah. But there was a whole point about him talking about al-Baghdadi. We got al-Baghdadi. Did you hear that we got al-Baghdadi?
Okay, so Barack Obama got Osama bin Laden.
I mean, here's the thing. No one knew who al-Baghdadi was
until that
happened.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this guy, al-Baghdadi's good for you. You killed this guy.
I'll say, after reading up on him, definitely bad guy, horrible person.
Bad guy.
Good.
Nicest guy. Let me make, I think everyone, at least we can all agree on fuck ISIS. We can all, it doesn't matter left, right, whoever you are, fuck ISIS.
But at the same time, let's not blow up this thing that most Americans wouldn't have even thought of.
No. I actually disagree with that. I think what he did was good. He earned that one. He can have it.
I think it's a good thing.
Let's give credit where credit's due, right? Or we come off looking like deranged people.
No, it's a good thing, but I want to say that we're still in the Middle East, right? And the Middle East hasn't been...
I think I don't see us ever not being in the Middle East, considering the way it's been for the last few decades.
It's going to be so difficult to even leave it.
Yeah. It's an absolute mess because because religion rules. Religion is in charge. And whenever you have religion in charge, things go bad.
It's going to be almost impossible to leave. And on top of that, these countries are rich in oil and resources that the U.S. really, really wants bad.
No, we have oil. We have oil now. We have our own oil
now. But
and oil's worthless. Fucking worthless.
Here's another thing. Yes, it's going to become further worthless, but at the same time, part of like the reason why Trump and Pence are really like cracking down on Biden's economic plan is because they don't want those things to be worthless. And the only way they're not going to be worthless is if we don't invest at all in any new technology that will be better for the planet.
Right.
So, I mean, right now, yeah, it's worthless because no one's driving. More people are driving now because of the coronavirus. But I mean, California just passed
I'm so glad, dude. My insurance has gone down so much.
A lot of people are happy about their insurance and their gas prices and all of that because no one's driving.
Dude, I fill up my tank like once a month.
Same here. I drive to work and I drive back, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And California just passed that law saying that like by 2035, no more non-electric vehicles are going to be sold.
Airbus too said by 2030 they're going to go all carbon neutral.
But a big part of the debate was talking about how if we use the Green New Deal, then so many jobs are going to be lost.
That's so stupid. That's you don't understand how infrastructure works then, because it's the opposite. Yeah, dummy.
Not only are more jobs going to be created, newer, cleaner technologies are going to be created, which is an opportunity, and people
for more jobs.
Yeah, people are
and more training
how much
and new fields to train in.
Yeah, it's not about how much it's going to cost. Yeah, it'll
cost. It's like, okay, it's like the difference between saying, okay, I got this lighter because it's electric, rechargeable, and it doesn't need fuel, right? Look, see, it uses plasma and electricity to light. That's like saying, this is $20, so I'm not going to buy this, but I'm going to continue to buy $1 and $2 Bics for the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly. It's an investment in the future, and the United States has
more money in the long run.
Exactly. The United States has an opportunity to make a lot of money and to change the country for the better. And to have
I'm tired of making money being a driving purpose in this government. Government is not a fucking business. People need to stop pretending that it needs to be run like a business. Yes, we need a balanced budget. We do not need to make money. That is not what the government is for. If we have a surplus, that's nice. The government's position is to help the people. Full fucking stop. That's what it's there for.
Well, yeah, if we are making money, it should be reinvested into the country.
No. We're still coming from this hard capitalist point of view where everything has to be money centered. No, we need to start moving towards a social point of view. The government is not there to make money. If it does, that's great, but that's not its purpose. Its purpose is to support the people first and foremost. And everybody has this idea that before helping the people, we have to make sure whatever money is set. No, that is not why the government was created.
This will be a whole nother conversation that I don't think we're going to have time for. Yeah. But anyway, I'll talk more about the NBA bubble next time because by then the finals will be done.
You're nervous, huh?
About the finals?
Yeah.
I'm not really. I'm nervous about the next game, but to be honest, the games that the Lakers lost, except for yesterday. Yesterday was a really, really good game. If you didn't watch it, it was great. It was close. It was a battle. The other game that the Lakers lost, they just looked like they were playing really, really sloppy.
That's how it was with the Rams this weekend against the Giants.
Yeah, and even the game before this last one that we won, they were playing sloppy, and the fact that it was so close and that we even won a game where we were playing real bad goes to show how good they are.
Same here, except it was against the Giants, and the Giants are like the bottom of the barrel.
I still think the Lakers are going to win. I think another part of the reason why the viewership was so bad was because people thought it was so one-sided. Everyone was like, the Lakers are going to win. But the Heat's a really good team. So
I really don't care about viewership and ratings. That has nothing to do with me and my enjoyment of the sport. There's only look. Donald Trump cares about viewership and ratings. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. Fine, your viewership is down. Good. That means you're pissing people off. You should be pissing people off right now.
Well, on top of that, some of my all-time favorite shows were canceled because their viewership sucked, and they were great. So,
like who? Like what?
Firefly. Firefly has a
cult. Then we wouldn't have gotten Serenity.
Well, Firefly has a cult like following now, but when it first came out, no one was watching.
But if it hadn't gotten canceled, we never would have gotten Serenity, which is arguably one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like Pushing Daisies was another one that I loved. I got canceled. So that was partially because of the writers' strike that happened back then.
I gotta throw out Freaks and Geeks, man.
Freaks and Geeks is amazing, and Undeclared, which was Judd Apatow's like show after that.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
It's great. You should definitely check it out. Because a lot of the cast is the same from Freaks and Geeks.
They always are.
Yeah, great show. But yeah, viewership doesn't really matter. But
not in sports. Sports are going to keep going regardless.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure millions of people are still watching the NBA Finals. Let's be real.
Of course they are. It's not enough
to. It's the least watched. Like
there are not enough crazy ass conservatives out there to really screw it up. I love how that like NFL was like our viewership is down by 8%, and they all were cheering like it was some kind of crazy victory. I was like, dude. 8% is not going to fuck them up. You understand that, right? Like, you understand that 8%, they go, well, we'll just keep going then, because that ain't nothing.
I mean, the NFL is just all of these leagues are making money hand over fist, even without
they don't care if you don't watch. Go ahead and boycott. We don't want you fans anyway. We don't want you assholes to be associated with this sport that we love.
And even these people that are boycotting, all right, maybe you're not watching it. These people are still buying merchandise. They're still buying like beer that's freaking has an NFL logo stamped on it. You're giving them money there. Like, let's be real. You may be boycotting, but there's no way to avoid without losing a lot of the things that you like. It's like, for instance, I would have loved to boycott China over like the Uyghur Muslim camps that they have. I would love to boycott China. Realistically, there's no way I can do that. How am I going to stop buying things from China? Like, there's no way. So
China. Wait, I have a hilarious meme that I think we should end off on. Just because anytime I go, China, this is what I think of. China.
It's like an explosion. He loves saying it.
He does. China. Have you watched the Comey Rule, by the way?
I haven't watched it yet.
You should. It's great.
I'm gonna check it out.
Brendan Gleeson. I need to take inspiration from him on my impression, because it is spot on.
I'm gonna have to check it out. It does look really good. Is on really what? Good. HBO? Showtime? I don't know if I have Showtime.
Oh yeah, big boo-hoo. There's no way you could figure that one out. I guess you won't watch it then.
Yeah. I won't be able to watch it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, I'm Jourdan. Don't forget to like and subscribe and smash that notification button. That's what they say.
It's
right?
probably down there, wherever it
like
is.
down here somewhere. I don't know. We're
At
doing
some point,
this
I'll
really
figure that out.
facetiously. Please don't take offense to it. We just I like to make fun of
like
people.
and
But do please smash it. Smash it good.
See you later, guys.